is Tyra Hughes. Welcome to my channel on YouTube here. I am an NYU student majoring in collaborative arts, where I'm learning how to do performance, technology, writing in the arts, and acting, and music making and all of that fun things. But I'm also an intuitive girl, okay? I am a seer, I'm a clairaudient person, and I'm also clairvoyant. So I get messages through the divine, and I use those messages to help guide people to be their best selves, including myself. But today I'm going to be talking about the new moon in Pisces, which is a really exciting time for just new energy, new projects, new era, new change. So, new moons, they always mark the beginning of a new lunar cycle. So if you're unfamiliar with what that is, it's basically the phases of the moon. And I remember learning this for the first time in 4th grade. Someone made a cover of a Drake song, and they were like, "New moon, waning crescent, 4th quarter, da 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 da, those are the phases of the moon." So it just stuck with me, and now I work with the phases of the moon, and I work with intentionally the new moon and the full moon. So the new moon for me, and for a lot of people, is a great, amazing opportunity to release what has not worked for you in the past lunar cycle and start something new and set new intentions for the upcoming cycle. But yeah, so the last video I filmed for you all, which I have yet to upload, was a new Pisces season video for the collective, and also it was the full moon in Virgo. But now we are on the new moon in Pisces. So really fun energy, really new, vibrant energy in terms of spirituality, imagination, harmony, balance, relationships, intuition, and all of those other keywords. So a really fun, really awesome aspect of this new moon this year, this month, today on March 10th, is the fact that it is the last new moon of the winter season this year. So it is, you know, in the middle of this lunation cycle, we're actually going to be starting spring. We're actually going to be experiencing the spring equinox, which marks the beginning of the new astrological year, which astrologists and spiritual people, they all urge people to not start their new year in January when we are in the dead middle of winter, but instead start their new year, their new intentions for themselves in spring equinox, which is awesome for me, at least, because my new year starts 3 times every year. So first it starts in January when the calendar year resets, and then it starts on my birthday, which is March 7th, and then it starts again when it's the spring equinox a few weeks after my birthday. So I have a lot of really cool, just aligned experiences in terms of newness in my life, just based on how the planets are aligned on my day of birth. So that's really awesome for me, at least. But I urge you all to watch this YouTube video that I watched before making my own new moon in Pisces video. It taught me all I know about the lunation cycle and this particular transit. So I definitely recommend you watching the video that I link in the description below, because she's very, very helpful. She's very, very thorough, and she explains it in a really great way. So, some themes that I learned from the video that I shared with you guys in the description box is that if you are feeling called towards something new, towards starting something new, like a new habit, a new way of thinking, a new era, then embrace that. If not, I would definitely recommend for you to let go, release something that is not serving you anymore for your best self. So I have yet to upload that affirmation album EP that I created with different affirmations that will help you in your spiritual journey, but by this video, it should be up on SoundCloud. So stay tuned for that and use it to help your spiritual journey. So for me, at least, all throughout February, I was in a very combative, very warish energy where I just let a lot of racism kind of get to me and really make me super angry. Now, I think there's 2 sides to that coin. On one side, I think my anger was definitely justified, but on the other side, I think I had to just be a little bit more intentional with what battles I choose to be warish in. And I think I was allowing things to take up way too much of my energy when I could have just observed it, took note of it, and moved on. You know what I mean? So I think that's the change I've been urged to kind of embrace. Be a little bit more intentional with my energy, be a little bit more intentional with what I let get to me, and just be weary of not letting things break me so easily. So welcome to the pile selection. So pile number 1 is King of Pentacles in reverse, which is about spending and using money in a not so wise way. It's about greed, poor financial decisions. It is also about being possessive over your money and being a little bit more wasteful and materialistic with your money. So that's pile number 1. And then pile number 2, we have the Magician in reverse, which is all about trickery. It's about manipulation, wasted talent, illusion, and deception. So keep those keywords in mind as you are choosing between pile number 1 and pile number 2. Okay, so pile number 1. Let's read what the King of Pentacles description says. So, the King of Pentacles refers to a man of high ambition, materialistic satisfaction, a worldly success. The King of Pentacles is sitting on a throne that is adorned with vines and bull carvings, and the robe that he is wearing is embroidered with many images of grapevines. He looks sophisticated and regal. He is also surrounded by different types of plants, vines, and flowers, which depicts this king's attainment of materialistic success. He holds a scepter in his right hand, and the coin with the pentacles engraved on it sits in his left hand. The castle can be seen behind him, which is a symbol of his determination and effort. While this card in the upright represents a leader who's ambitious and really effective and very successful, in the reverse, this card can represent a king who has fallen off of his high horse, off of his throne, and there's something that has pulled him down, pulled him away from the successful, ambitious, and really just ignitive energy. So, this says, when reversed, the King of Pentacles falls from his throne. Once the king of a prosperous kingdom, it has been taken away from him or lost. Disconnected from the energy of his suit, he may have been impatient, he may have been too indulgent, he may have gambled too far or overstretched or overworked himself, he may have sought shortcuts that led him to ruin. He may have become too focused on the material, only understanding the cost of things and never their value. Only understanding the cost of things and never their value. And another thing that is coming up for me that's really strong is he may have overindulged, overstretched himself, sought shortcuts that led him to ruin rather than success. And shortcut, that keeps being a theme that keeps popping up in readings I do for myself as well. But it was coming up in a reading that I did during the full moon of Virgo. So just with this energy of the singular card I'm using today, I'm getting the sense that some of you in pile number 1, there's something that you are really, really talented and really successful at. However, because you are so ready and hungry for the recognition, you're trying to force or rush or take a shortcut to that recognition, to that success. And that is not the way to go here. Slow and steady wins the race. Slow and steady wins the race. There is a really good TI quote, and it says something along the lines of, if you only feel satisfied when people are clapping for you, you're going to feel like you're going to want to die when people boo you. So keep that in mind, because I feel as though you guys are working in some sort of line of work where you're very talented at it, you're very successful for your age, but you're impatient for the recognition, impatient for the fame, impatient for the well done, good job, keep it up. Do you really need that external validation to know that you're doing a good job? Or can you be secure with the fact that you are working hard, you're being dedicated, you're being driven, and you're putting in the work toward what you want for your future? Is that enough for you? Or do you need someone else to validate what you already know about yourself?
When I deserve a standing ovation and these niggas just sit, I'ma let these niggas sit. Cause if you ain't awake for my shit, if you ain't awake for my shit, then I'ma let you sleep. Do you need a damn blankie, bitch? Time is of the essence, so 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 time is of the essence.
So keep that in mind. Since this has to do with career, I'm going to go ahead and find the reversed career meaning of this card. So it says the king, before I even get to that, the King of Pentacles reversed may also signify the definition of your success. Yes, oh my gosh, is only determined by outer appearances and not by the true value that security and stability can bring to you. Are you only focusing on how successful you look to those outside of you? Or are you going to make sure you're building that stability, building that foundation out of the spotlight before you get that recognition? Think about it. Think about it, folks. It is a time for you to cultivate a more holistic attitude to the material world and find authentic happiness that is tied to you, not external forces that you're not going to always be able to depend on. But you know that you can always depend on yourself for that validation, for that affirmation that you are on the right path. The King of Pentacles reverse is telling you to look at the long-term goal. You may be facing financial issues, but do not look at yourself as a failure. Rather, look at it as a way to kind of look at it as an opportunity to see what has been working for you and what has not been working for you, especially with the new moon in Pisces. Look back on your finances, on your career, on your life choices and decisions and patterns and habits just for the winter. See what worked for you and see what did not work for you, and let go of what did not work for you. Let it go, because it's obviously not leading you down a path of success. It has taken you off of that path of success, and you want to get back to that upright energy of the King of Pentacles rather than the reverse. I feel like another theme that's coming up is overworking, overindulging in work. Learn when to take breaks. This is something I'm learning myself. Even just like learning when to prioritize myself over career, over school, over my craft. Learning when to prioritize my health over everything. That's a theme that is also coming up for this pile. You guys may be really, really driven, really, really hard workers, but you forget to like eat a meal, or you forget to drink water, or you forget to visit the doctor. Like, don't do that. Or rather, you should try to prioritize yourself over your career. You can still prioritize your career, but make sure you're putting yourself before everything else. Okay? Because you come first. The success comes after. You cannot be your best successful self if you are not prioritizing your health, if you're not prioritizing your emotions, your well-being, your overall just holistic well-being. You cannot do that. It's very, very difficult to be successful if you're not putting in a time or routine to really master self-love and self-care. And I'm a hypocrite sometimes, because I'll really preach about self-love and self-care, but just the other day I literally had a health scare because I forgot to eat a big breakfast, and I changed my diabetes medication regimen, and it made my dosage super, super high, and I didn't match my breakfast to match that high dosage. So my blood sugar dipped, and I had to go to the hospital late at night because I was just feeling super weak, super confused during class. When the sugar starts to affect your brain, when you're confused, when you're feeling weak, when you're feeling tired, that's when the sugar begins to affect your brain, and your body is working overtime to make sure that you do not get like a seizure, like that you do not get worse in terms of your health. So yeah, I basically had hypoglycemia for a few hours because I did not eat a big enough breakfast and my medications were higher than usual. So use that story, use that anecdote as a reminder to put yourself before everything. Like, it's okay to be selfish and it's okay to make time for yourself. Okay, so hi Pile 2, welcome to your reading. So you guys got the Magician in reverse, which is, again, it's about deception, it's about illusion, it's about trickery, and it's about just someone manipulating, like somebody doing manipulation. So let's read the description of this card. So the Magician is a one card that is filled with symbolism, okay? It's the central figure. It depicts someone with one hand pointed to the sky while the other points to the ground, as to say, as above, so below. This is rather a complicated phrase, but its summarization is that the earth reflects heaven and the outer world reflects within. The microism reflects the macroism. Earth reflects God. It can also be interpreted here that the Magician symbolizes the ability to act as a go-between the world above and the human world below. On his table, the Magician also wields all the suits of tarot. This symbolizes the four elements being connected by this Magician. The four elements being earth, water, air, and fire. The infinity sign on his head indicates the infinite possibilities of creation with the will. So, in the reverse, it says, when you obtain the Magician reverse, it means it's time for you to implement some changes. And it's crazy because I was just talking about, the new moon in Pisces is a great time to either reflect on what's worked for you, what didn't work for you, or implement new changes. So what I'm getting is that the pile number 1 was about reflecting on what works for you and what doesn't work for you. And pile number 2, your task, your suggestion is to make some changes based on what you've already probably reflected on. So it says, while the right side up, the Magician represents true power, the reverse Magician is a master of illusion. The magic that he performs is one of deception and trickery. You may be lured into the showmanship of his arts, but behind that, there may be an intention to manipulate for selfish gain. Getting this card might mean there is someone who pretends to have your best interest at hand when the opposite is true. So, a theme I was picking up on when I was just taking notes about the new moon in general, for the new moon in Pisces, is that you are uber aware, uber intentional with who you are surrounding yourself with what company you are surrounding yourself with. So be very mindful, because the veil is very thin in terms of spirituality, in terms of relationships, in terms of thoughts of other people. So not that in terms of relationships with others. So people's intentions are going to be showing very clearly. So take that not lightly. Don't take that shit lightly. Okay. So people are going to be telling on themselves, essentially. So keep that information in mind. Keep note of it. You do not have to react to it at all in front of them, but take note of it and take heed. So consider whether this reverse Magician is in your circle, or perhaps it may represent your current state of emotions. It may mean you may be obsessed with power that might lead to wrong, reckless decisions that will lead to your eventual downfall. So you, unlike pile number 1, which is about someone who's kind of fallen off their high horse, gotten on the wrong track, you guys are leading toward that. And you probably don't want to be on that track. So rather than, if the Magician is you and not someone else in your life who's manipulating you and trying to be trickery toward you, and if you are the Magician, I would suggest most definitely to kind of take a mental scan of how you're feeling right now in terms of your emotions, in terms of your just life in general. Like, how are you feeling? Like, what is working for you? What's not working for you? What do you know you need to let go of? What do you know you need to change in your life? Whether that be the way that you approach your spirituality, the way that you approach your career, the way you approach relationships, the way you approach your internal life, your external life, your well-being, your activeness in exercising, just anything. What do you need to change your approach toward and make that change? Yeah, that's all I'm getting. So that was the end of today's readings today, guys. I wanted them to be quick, short, and concise, just because I don't want to overload you guys with the information. I feel like the longer readings are fun for some people, but the shorter readings are also suitable for others. So I try to, switch it up a bit each week with what types of readings I do. Again, if you want an extension of your reading that you got today, definitely book with me on Etsy, ThruTysEyesTarot. Every single reading is below $15. I think each reading is listed at $12. And if you are intuitive yourself, you can do the exchange option where you just pay 20 cents, I'm pretty sure, because I can't list it at $0 on Etsy. And you can just purchase the exchange, and we can exchange readings rather than you paying $12. But you have to verify that you are a reader on Etsy or through YouTube or TikTok or Instagram. You must verify that information. But yeah, so definitely book with me if you are interested in a full reading. They are very insightful. They're very encouraging. They are not fear-mongering messages at all. I do not do that, and I do not tolerate when other readers do that. But yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. I love you all dearly, and I hope you all enjoy the new moon in Pisces. And also, happy birthday to all the Pisces. I love you all. I'm a Pisces myself. I just celebrated my 21st birthday. So yeah, I did not vlog that at all. I wanted it to just really be a present moment. But I will be vlogging my birthday party for sure at the end of the month. Yeah, so bye guys. I love you all so much, and good luck with everything.
Thinking you know we not good. I'm in your hood, traveling in circles, contemplating, complaining again. Cause I thought we were friends. Yeah, maybe a little bit more. Yeah, but you did me dirty. You did me dirty. Fucking with bitches who was way below me, below me. But she ain't the reason you don't disturb me, sorry. Fucking with bitches who was way below me, the reason you don't disturb me, sorry.